So I received something very bizarre in the mail today. It is a card from a local lawyer whose name is Paul White, which is ironic because that's also the name of a popular professional wrestler who uses many aliases, including the Giant and the Big Show, and probably know him best as Captain Insano from The Waterboy. So I was happy to receive this. I was even happier because, he's a guy that really wants you to protect your freedom and protect your rights. And the fact that he's canvassing a apartment complex right next to a college campus really tells you this guy knows his target audience. So he has some advice for us. Check this out. These are some tips if you are stopped for a DUI. Now, it should be noted that he's talking about if you have a DUI. I mean, if you don't have a DUI, I guess it probably would not behoove you to follow the following steps, but he has some good ones. You want to take a look here. If you're ever in that scenario, to be breaking the law intentionally. Tip number 1, he informs you that you should be polite, which I guess makes sense. If you're going to be belligerent with a police officer, and ask them while you're stopping you, probably not going to get very far. Tip number 2, you should make no unnecessary statements. You're being videotaped. Your actions and words will be used against you in court, and will and you are both in uppercase letters, so it's important. Well, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, you have the right to remain silent, and by not answering these questions, you are going to jail, so there you go. Tip number 3, do not answer any questions beyond your name. Politely decline. If you're asked where you're coming from or how many drinks you have had, tell the officer you've been told to not answer questions. So yep, you're about to get put in the back of a squad car. Tip number 4, refuse to take any breathalyzer or roadside tests. Well, I guess if you got a DUI, it makes sense. These tests are difficult for a sober person to pass. I would like to see where that's decided, but okay. The officer is building a case against you. Don't help them to hurt you. So there you go. Don't answer any questions. Don't say anything. Never consent to the search of your car. That's tip number 5. So yeah, there you go. Don't do anything. Don't coordinate at all, and you'll do just fine, per DUI lawyer Paul White. Tip number 6. This is where things get a little mendacious. Ask questions to the police officer such as, should I consent? What would you do? Should I take the test, or do I have to? Quote, police officers are not supposed to answer questions or voice their opinions. If they do, it gives a lawyer a lot to work with in defending you. So he's saying that if you get a DUI, or you're pulled over and suspected of DUI, you should ask a whole bunch of questions to the police officer with the hopes that maybe they will give you an answer, which they're not supposed to do, or even voice their opinion, which they're also not supposed to do. So there you go. If you want to get far in life, be drunk and manipulative. Apparently that's a good way to beat the system. How about this one? If arrested, use your right to remain silent, except for when you're asking questions to the police about how to get out of it. The police are not your friends. Well, now we're getting contentious here. We're going beyond factual observations in the realm of opinion, but okay. They won't give you a break for cooperating or being nice. Don't help them. You will only hurt yourself. So there you go. From one side of the legal field to the other, don't trust the popo. How about this? This is a good piece of advice. Getting arrested sucks, but getting arrested then prosecuted for DUI sucks even more. So this guy knows his target audience for sure, with his hip college lingo that was out of date in 1994. If you get pulled over after drinking, the officer stopping you will claim they can smell it and begin to build a DUI case against you. And the odds are you're going to be arrested no matter what you say or do. Sorry, but that's a reality. Well, there you go. You're going to get arrested. But if you don't say anything, and you manipulate the police officers, and you goad them, and you follow everything this guy says here, you might have an opportunity to not go to jail. Well, actually going to jail anyway because you're not following the officer's advice, so great. And lastly, his final piece of advice is, don't help them to hurt you. Follow the tips above and then call us. We can help you. So there you go. If you want to know how to get out of a DUI, there you go. Oh, and one last thing. Following all these steps means you'll get arrested the same night. So, yeah.